This is Doctrine and Devotion, a podcast that explores Christian faith and practice from a Reformed Baptist perspective. My name is Joe Thorne. I'm the lead pastor of Redeemer Fellowship in St. Charles, Illinois.
And I'm Jimmy Fowler, executive pastor at Redeemer Fellowship.
What is going on?
Nothing. What's going on with you?
Did you see the picture that I posted on our social media?
Which photo? Sorry. Yeah.
That's great.
When'd you post that?
I posted it this morning.
Oh, no, I did not see it.
It says, it's a picture of Jimmy pushing me on the swing.
Yep.
In a summer environment. We're both smoking. It's a very cuddly, cute, warm-hearted picture. Yep. And I said, this is how it feels when the Jofo records a new episode of Doctrine and Devotion. So, yeah, totes adorbs is what Brian Bailey says. Totes adorbs.
Oh, okay.
Is what Brian Bailey. Everybody,
right.
Come on, man.
All right.
Yeah, I was excited to record, meet
so
up,
am I.
hang out, with my bud, with
That's
my bro.
Right. That's right.
Bro man.
Yeah.
Bro ham.
Bro ham.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's just go. We'll just stick with the bromance.
Yeah, that's fine too.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. Sometimes people get jealous because we're friends.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
But you know what, Joe? I need you to understand that you've always got a friend in me. Always.
No.
At any time.
Don't.
Every moment.
So awful.
No, I just need you to understand that.
Isn't this
That
from
we are-
the movie Monsters? Monster Inc.?
No, Toy Story.
Oh, yes. I don't watch that stuff.
What?
Ugh.
Come on,
that's
man.
right. It's Buzz Lightyear and
Woody.
Woody. No, Andy? I thought his name was Andy.
Andy's the kid.
Oh, my gosh.
Gosh. You know what, though? If you want, we don't have to listen to the Randy Newman version. We could go ahead and kick it up a notch.
What is... Okay.
We'll kick it up. Yeah.
What is this? Same song?
Same song. Hold on. Come on. Let's see if you can figure out who it is. I want to hear it.
Michael Bublé.
Yes.
Oh.
Well done.
It's a big band stuff. You got friends. Yeah. It's like, how do I know Michael Bublé?
I know. I'm really shocked.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just gonna let this be on the.
One of the things that I'm really grateful for is friendship, and people think that I'm not, because I'm really honest about it. Like, I'm a sort of an introvert, I like to be alone. But introverts are still social beings, and we need friendship. It's something that I know I need, and there've been points in my life, Christian and non, when I had close friends that I could really rely on, and then there were other points when I didn't really have friends, like at least not the kind that where I could really know well, who knew me for support, and so there were periods of time where I think most of us experienced that, where we don't have a lot of that, or we do, and I'm grateful that here at the church, we have friendships, and the elders are genuinely friends with each other. And I'm grateful for you, my man, for being such a good friend. It makes me think
You're a great friend.
Well, I'm a friend. I'm a close friend.
No, I just said
Am
great.
I a great friend?
You're a great friend. You're a great friend.
Okay. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 9 through 12. 2 are better than 1, because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow, but woe to him who is alone when he falls and has not another to lift him up. Again, if two lie together, they keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? And though a man might prevail against one who is alone, two will withstand him. A threefold cord is not quickly broken. Most Christians that have been in the church for a little bit have heard that passage, know that passage, and we go there. We go to Proverbs for a lot of verses on friendship, and so as guys that we've built our podcast around two basic ideas, right? Which is Reformed Baptist theology and friendship.
Yeah,
right? That's kind of how we do it, like serious doctrine and not serious guys, and just kind of coming together and enjoying all of this stuff.
Often, imitated.
Yep.
Seldom replicated.
Never.
Never replicated. Never
no,
replicated.
No. There's an attempt.
It's always funny when I watch it, I'm like, oh, that looks. I wouldn't.
The Jofo.
I would enjoy that. Oh wait, because I did that.
Yeah, they didn't do the Jofo thing right there, which is great. We support anybody who wants to do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Do that, and then just send out a check when you start making money. Send a check to us. All right. So today we want to talk about are 5 ways you can fail as a friend.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've all blown it as friends.
Yep. We've all made mistakes.
And
we've let each other down from time to time, Joey.
Mm-hmm.
We've had our fights.
We've had our fights. We haven't had a real fight in a little bit. It's been a minute.
It has been. It has been.
Got to fix that.
Why do we got to fix it?
Yeah.
I feel like it's fixed.
Yeah.
I feel like
we almost had a fight just about 15 minutes ago. I feel like, because we were having a little conversation, but I was the bigger person. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. I don't want to trigger you, get you all upset here.
I don't even know what we're talking about. Okay, you're shaking. I'm like, wait a second. I really don't know what we're speaking about.
No, we haven't had. We got to have a fight. Yeah,
no, we don't have to have.
It's fine. I like fighting.
We don't. Go fight with someone else.
Okay, no.
It's not as fun, I know.
So 5 ways you can fail as a friend. There are more ways than you can fail than what we're going to talk about today. But today, we're going to give you 5, and we're going to hopefully encourage you to not do these things, but to do the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy, you want to take number 1?
Yeah. Number 1, by focusing on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So instead of listening, you're essentially not listening to them.
Right. That's a big one.
That's a big one. Not listening to your friend, always kind of speaking, talking about what's going on in your life and your struggles and your situations, instead of taking the time to hear from them. What are some of their struggles, maybe their joys?
Mm-hmm.
What are some things to be praying for? What is it that they're processing through at the moment?
Their interests, their stories.
Yeah.
Like if somebody's telling a story, you want to be present. And, like sometimes.
Like even when you hear the story like 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, yep, I heard that. I know.
But you don't say it.
Yeah. No. Well.
You do.
Yeah. Yeah. It depends.
You'll say to me, we've already had this.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Because, sometimes.
What?
Because I take it as a personal insult.
Why?
Oh, because you don't even remember that we already had this conversation.
No,
because I'm so unimportant.
No, maybe it's affecting me that much.
The story?
Yeah.
Of how you ran out of the house early in the morning and you forgot to change out of your pajama bottoms.
Well, first of all, it's not that I've told that story multiple times because of the same instance. It's I've done it multiple times, and so it's a new story every time.
So I think there's always the danger of a person. It's easier to focus on ourselves and to take ourselves and our stories more seriously. When a person who focuses on themselves is essentially taking and not giving. I think that's what's happening. You're taking from them, whether it's their listening ear or their interest, but you're sucking all the oxygen out of the room with you constantly talking about yourself, focusing on yourself. And this fundamentally, Jimmy, I think what we're talking about here is a friend is supposed to, as they follow Jesus and deny themselves and follow Christ, we're supposed to deny ourselves for our friends, right? And we see that in John 15.
John 15, 13, greater love has no love than this, that someone laid down his life for his friends.
Is somebody calling you?
Yeah, my wife was just calling me.
Okay. Because I could even hear it.
Yeah, I know, because it's connected. My phone is connected.
Playing that. Okay, I was like,
because I was playing that song. Can I call you later?
And is that the 24?
Yes, it is.
Okay. It's the ringer
from CTU. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
You like that?
Counterterrorism unit. Yeah.
You like that?
I was like, I know that.
Yeah, you know that, right?
I'm watching
It's
24.
pretty iconic, yeah.
All right, so John 15:13, Jesus lays this out for us. Fundamentally, a good friend loves and seeks the good of another person. And if you're focusing on yourself, you're not loving them, you're loving yourself.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think that there's a sense of, I guess, entitlement that some people might have when they feel like, my issues are more important.
Yeah.
And it's really unfair.
Do you think it's entitlement or just pride?
Well, I think I would argue that entitlement is a more specific form of pride.
I think that was very prideful of you to try to take that from me.
Yeah. Well, that's all I do.
I feel like I was entitled to have my opinion.
Why aren't you listening? Why don't you just listen to me? Okay? Just stop making it about yourself. Just make it about me for once.
Just once.
Just once for this moment. All right. So number 2, we fail as friends when we avoid transparency, which is kind of the flip side of what we were just talking about, right? Because number 1, you're making it all about you. But here it's like you're kind of hiding yourself.
Yeah, you hide who you really are, right? Like you hide your fears, your sins.
Yeah.
And ultimately, like, you're denying your friend the opportunity to actually be a friend.
How so?
Because they don't really know you.
Yeah.
They don't really know you.
Yeah.
So how could they be a real friend to you? They're friends with whatever fake version you're presenting in front of them.
So they don't know how to serve you properly.
They don't know how to support
you.
Yeah. You're essentially your Instagram account.
Yeah. My Instagram account is fire, as the kids say.
Yeah, but it's definitely
fake.
But it's definitely 30% more of what you actually are.
What does that mean?
People present a version of themselves that's 30%, 20 to 30% better than what their life really is.
You said more, and I was
like more. Yeah,
but more ugly. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't. No one said you were ugly. I didn't say you were ugly.
I'm just saying. Like,
I
just didn't know what more meant.
No, I just felt like you assumed the worst of me right there.
Yeah. No, I assumed the worst of myself.
No, but you assumed I was going to say it.
No, I said I was assuming that I was ugly.
Anyways.
You don't ever tell me I'm beautiful anymore. So why would people do that anyways? Why would somebody not be honest about who they are? And don't say pride, because that's your answer for everything, Jimmy.
I was going to say entitlement. I think for some people...
but obviously pride is...
yeah, but I think part of it is maybe they don't really know themselves.
Ooh, that's good.
Right? They don't really know who they are.
How do you not know who you are?
Because it's really easy to lie to yourself all the time.
Well, if you lie to yourself, don't you know that you're lying?
Sometimes you believe your lies.
Oh
yeah, trust me. Yeah. I've met plenty of people that believe their own lies about themselves. I think maybe they don't know themselves. They haven't.
That's good.
They're not self-aware. They haven't gone through the process, right? When they are faced with difficulties, they deflect and blame.
Yeah.
So I think for some people they don't really know who they are.
That's good.
I think for some people they're afraid because they've been burned in the past.
Yeah, I think that's the first thing that came to my mind. Is I think we are sometimes afraid of being rejected, accepted, or maybe we're just afraid of being held accountable. We just don't want to, we don't want to change.
I think so. When you talk about when we talk about being afraid, we see that even with people that have been burned by church leadership, right?
Yeah.
They're afraid of being transparent and honest and open because their last experience has been so hurtful. And I think people do that with friendships as well. They've been burned by their friend in the past.
Yeah.
So I don't want to open myself up to be burned again.
Yeah, because transparency is important, because without it, you don't know each other and you can't serve one another, support one another. Friendship would demand vulnerability at that point. So, what you're denying here is not just the opportunity for your friend to be a friend, but you're also denying yourself the help that you need, the support that you need. Jimmy can't help me if I'm not honest with him.
Exactly. Thank you, Joe, for finally saying it.
Okay. Unfortunately, even when I do admit where I'm at, Jimmy's still so incompetent. He can't help me. So it doesn't really matter.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Bruh. Are you ready to repent for that?
Well,
are you ready?
I'm not ready yet.
No, because I understand that was great podcast bit. That was a great podcast bit. I understand that. I respect the game.
Okay, good.
Now you can go ahead
and admit
that
Jimmy is a very good friend and he's highly competent.
Continue. But yeah, so you deny that. James 5:16. Therefore, confess your sins to one another and pray for one another that you may be healed. The prayer of a righteous person has great power as it is working.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're not confessing your sins, then you're not allowing other people to come alongside you, to pray for you, to hold you accountable, as you're talking about, to walk alongside.
Yeah, and I think confessing sins is probably one of the biggest ways, and it doesn't have to be like a formal, you get into the booth and Jimmy's got the robe on in the next section of the booth, so yes, we confess our sins, but it's just about being honest about what we're doing, how we're struggling, even how we're failing, but also beyond that. Then there's a sense of you should be transparent about what you really want. Things that you're working toward.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Because, some of the stuff that we're going to wind up talking about can't happen without this. It just, without real transparency, you can't have a friendship without transparency.
No,
it's not a real friendship.
No, it's not. It's an acquaintance.
Number 3.
Number 3, you fail as a friend by ignoring their successes. It's important to be celebrating their wins and celebrating like their gifts and their accomplishments, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Like pointing that out, letting them know, hey, I see what you've done. I know how hard you've worked. I know that you've been really striving after that. I mean, in a way, you're the hype man.
Yeah.
You're the hype woman.
Yeah, you got to hype up your bro or your sister, right? That's
like there are times when I could see like Joe's a little down, so I try to hype him up a little bit. It's not all the time, but like when Joe does do great work, which he often does, I want to celebrate that with him.
So, and I even when I know you're doing it, it's like it's not fake.
Nope.
We're not talking about flattery.
Oh yeah, no, you know when I'm fake,
and it's funny. Listen, we know each other so well that like we could never be fake and get away with it. So if we are being fake, it is obvious, like we're having fun.
Like I go overboard. Like,
yeah,
wow, Joey.
Yeah,
wow.
That is the most amazing sermon opener I have ever heard
Joey,
in my life.
Joey,
did you practice that like negative 1,000 times?
I heard you put the toilet seat down finally.
Whoa.
Well done.
So I think the idea of being a hype person is encouraging, not again, because you should recognize that they're hyping you up. That's not fake. It's not flattery. It is them cheering you on where you have succeeded.
Yep.
And like I'm a guy. I think most guys are this way. Like when my wife says, "Good job, hon," like that means a lot to me. I like that. And then if you don't hear it, that's like, oh, geez.
Cool.
And so
at that point, it's like, wah, wah.
It's like, even if it's not a big deal, like, nice job on the driveway. Look at that. Look, got all the snow off of that. It looks good.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, I feel good. So when recently, I've been working hard, at least I've been trying to work hard on being more organized, more disciplined.
Been doing a great job.
And Jimmy has been, I've noticed you doing it. You're like, oh, really good there. You're hyping me up. Appreciate that. So when you ignore your friends' successes, their gifts, you are not honoring them. And this is something that we're called to do, right? We're supposed to honor one another, encourage one another, push people to continue. Why do you think people don't do this? Hey guys, Pastor Joe here. Now, if you're a listener of the podcast, you know how much Jimmy and I love Bible study tools and resources. Anything that helps us to unpack and understand and apply the Word of God. And throughout my life, I have benefited from a couple of very good study Bibles, which is why we are really excited that Doctrine and Devotion is sponsored by InterVarsity Press and the Bible Speaks Today study Bible. This new study Bible takes the highlights of the popular and beloved 55-volume commentary series, The Bible Speaks Today, and puts it into one study Bible, with commentary from popular English pastor theologians and edited by John Stott and Alec Mottier. This is a study Bible you should definitely pick up. Now, IVP is offering a special deal just for the listeners of Doctrine and Devotion. If you go to IVP's website, that's ivpress.com, and use the code Bible30, all one word, you'll get 30% off and free shipping. So that's IVPress, IVPRESS.com, and use the code BIBLE30. You'll get 30% off and free shipping of the Bible Speaks Today study Bible. Why would somebody just not naturally do this? Why are there some relationships where you think you're friends and they almost will avoid any kind of praise for you?
I hate to say it. I think for some people there's jealousy and envy.
They jelly?
They jelly.
Mm-hmm.
It's peanut butter jelly time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Proverbs 27:2. Let another praise you and not your own mouth, a stranger and not your own lips. So instead of like you're jealous of their success, right? You're jealous of it. You want it for you. You want to be praised. It's a very selfish and self-centered relationship at that point. So it kills, this encouragement and honor of them is when you become jealous, where it's like, I feel like I should have got that.
Yeah.
Like, or even worse, it's like, is it really that important? Was that really such a good deed?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, was that really a success?
Yeah, like
Is
nice.
that really? Yeah, nice.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Is that really worthy of praise?
Now, I know for a lot of people that have good friends, you're like, well, who would think that way about their friend? Well, that's the problem. Is sometimes there are relationships where one person is rather innocent in the relationship and they think they have a good friend, and the other person is just not a good friend. One person has been.
Just watch every teen movie.
Yeah, there's always some frenemy sort of a thing happening
Girls.
there. Yeah, Mean Girl. That was good. I saw that.
Did you?
I saw that back in the day.
Yeah.
Was she a homeschool kid in that movie? She was a homeschool.
I thought she was. Yes.
Yeah, she
you're
was a
right.
homeschool kid, and then she went to school, and then the Mean Girls were mean to her.
No,
and then she gets revenge, and then they dump blood on her at the prom or something. And then she uses her magic powers to like kill everybody with fire.
I think you're thinking of Carrie.
Oh yeah,
you're thinking of Carrie on that one.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
She was the mean girl. No,
Carrie was a mean girl.
No, not. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I get confused. So yeah, I do think there are people wind up in those relationships where they don't even know. So you got to sometimes recognize, hey, listen, this person is not being a good friend, or maybe you'd be even more sensitive to, I am not being a good friend by ignoring the successes and the wins. And honestly, like one of the things that I pay attention to is when, the people that I'm close to in my life, when I see good things happening in them, or I see them more often, like it works like this. I see them being a good friend to me. It shows me where I need to be a better friend because it's like, oh wow, like they do this rather consistently, and I'm not good at that thing. So that they did. So I know I want to get better at that. So friendship should sort of work that way. There should be a sort of reciprocal sort of learning that goes on. So don't ignore their successes.
Nope. Number 4, we fail as a friend when we ignore their failures. What?
What?
Well, you
What?
You didn't want me to say it out loud?
What?
By ignoring their failures.
Listen, sometimes you need to ignore people's mistakes, okay? Because sometimes it's just a mistake, it's not a big deal. I don't know.
Yeah, no, we fail because we think it's love when we overlook our friends' faults, but
No, that's not love.
that's not love, right? Because you can accept them, love them, support them, but knowing and rightly respond to their failures and faults is what helps them in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, like, okay, so there's a sense in which you could say, well, I overlook the faults of my friends. Yeah, there's a sense in which that's a good thing. It means what you mean by that is like, I don't punish them for their faults.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make them feel horrible for their faults. So like what you said, rightly responding to their failures and their faults, because we're all going to mess up, and sometimes we'll mess up in the relationship itself, and sometimes we'll mess up outside of it, but your friends should still know. They should still be able to see that.
Yep.
If I see that that Jimmy is, I don't know, being rude to his wife, which I have not seen you do. I've heard when I've confessed, yes, that you have been rude.
Yes.
But so yeah, it's like about how do you respond to your friends' failures? You don't want to ignore it. And why? Let's just talk about this. Why do people ignore the failures of their friends? Like, so we think it's love, but like, what would be the motive? Like, they just screwed up and they're screwing up, or they're doing something bad. Why would we not say anything?
I think for some people, they're afraid that the relationship is going to change.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the dynamic's going to change. They might lose the friendship. Maybe the friend's going to pull back at that point, or that they're going to utterly reject them.
Yeah.
And go off and yell at them.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons, right? And maybe there are times when you see somebody make a mistake, and you think like, oh well, that's not a big deal, and you kind of let it go, and then it happens again. You're like, oh, it's just like a couple times. But after a while, you've let it go so long. Now, if you start to say something, you might feel a little, I don't know if hypocritical is the right word, but you just might feel like, man, I let this go for a while, and now to say something feels weird, and I just don't know what to do.
Yeah. At that point, it's like, hey man, I've seen this a couple times. I'm afraid it looks like it's a routine.
And
what's the word? Routine? I'm seeing a pattern.
Habit.
Yeah, I'm seeing a bit of a pattern here.
Yeah. And it's like, that's not, you make it weird in your head by saying like, well, I've let this go a few times, and now if I say something that's weird, no, that's appropriate. Like now he's like, hey, listen, this has been happening a few times. It's like, it's not weird.
It's not just a one-off.
Yeah. Like, listen, if your friend does something quick and stupid, you don't have to necessarily talk about it. It might just be worth noting and praying about, whatever. But yeah, at some point you have to. So, two big ways that we should be paying attention to, or like you said, Jimmy, rightly responding to the failures of our friends is through correction and coaching, is I think the way that we wound up talking about it.
So when we say correcting, like, what do you mean? Like the grammar? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know how, like,
you should be like the gospel-centered Grammarly for people where you correct them. I think what we essentially mean there is everything from rebuke, like, hey man, you've done wrong, you need to repent, to gentler forms of correction where you're just saying, like, listen, I think you're slipping here. I think correction it basically boils down to showing them where they have erred. That's definitely a part of what I mean by correction. Showing them where they have erred so that you can then point them in a better direction. Like, so Proverbs 27:6, faithful are the wounds of a friend, profuse are the kisses of an enemy. So like a real friend is going to hurt you, but with surgical precision, right? They're not going to hurt you by being mean. They're going to say,
buckshot.
Yeah, no. It's getting in there and saying, hey, listen, what you've done or what you're doing here is a sin before God, or it's problematic, whatever. And so you address it directly. Or James chapter 5:19-20. My brothers, if anyone among you wanders from the truth and someone brings him back, let him know that whoever brings back a sinner from his wandering will save his soul from death and will cover a multitude of sins. So the idea being that they've wandered off, you have to go and address the problem. You won't be able to see a change or a transformation without identifying their failure, their fault, so that you can then begin to actually coach them.
Yeah, and I think that's what's really important here is you cannot, I would say a real friend does, like, they don't stop at correcting.
Right.
Like, once you've corrected, then you need to coach. Now, you might just start off at a coaching, when it's something good, right? Because Hebrews 10:24, and let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good work. So there's times where Joe and I will coach each other, and encourage each other, help each other along, kind of help chart a path together, right? But when we have never corrected each other without following up with coaching.
Yeah, because we need it.
Yeah,
like
you don't tear someone down and then not help them back up.
Yeah. Unless they really deserve it.
No, stop it.
Oh.
See, I told you to stop.
Yep.
And now don't do that thing, Joe. We want to love each other and move on.
Yeah, but we love each other.
And then help others.
And then, I'm a little busy helping you right now. Can't be helping everybody. All right. And then number 5, fifth way that we fail as a friend is by refusing to protect our friends.
Ooh. Like with a gun?
Yeah, or whatever. My fists of fury.
No, you're strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
No.
I know. You're a really strong guy.
Yeah.
No.
How strong am I?
So strong.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I'm, just amazing.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
Now you're slipping into sarcasm. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling the hype, Jimmy.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah.
Okay.
How often does Jen pin you down?
Not often. Not often. I try to avoid that because.
So wait, like you go to like a different room that she's in.
What?
Like you try to avoid. No, like avoiding her.
My point is, like, if I have to confront my wife, I do it on the phone. Okay, that's what I. If we're gonna have a disagreement, and I feel like she might get physical and like try to like put me in a rear naked choke, or
arm triangle,
a Kimura, Darce choke, whatever. Yeah, I talk to her on the phone. So no, by protecting, what I mean is, like, you fail as a friend when you don't defend the name and the reputation of your brother or your sister. Because that's going to happen. You're going to have opportunity. There will be a need to stand up for them at some point.
Yeah, I mean, someone might be slandering or gossiping about your friend.
And those are like the big ones that we tend to think about, right? Like somebody just outright lying about your friend or sharing something that they have no business sharing, like gossiping about them, and which could sully their name. But it's sully their name?
No, I was, you know what? I thought you were going to go somewhere with that. I thought you're going to be like, or like gossiping and sullying their name, like their wife can beat them up.
Oh. No, Jen could legit. Jen could beat up a lot of the people in the church. I think, at this point. A lot of people on our block.
A lot of people on our
She is Jenny from the block. She is.
So yeah, slander, gossip.
But like, let's be real. Like, it might not be slander or gossip.
No.
Like those are
pretty large,
right? What are the smaller things that could happen?
Unfair criticism.
Yeah. So somebody is saying something like being hypercritical about your friend, and you might need to say like,
well, that's not right.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
No, I've not known that about that individual.
And
I've not seen that.
And maybe it's just unfair. Maybe it's a criticism, but it's like, okay, why are you going on and on about this?
Yeah,
It's like,
that's a bit much.
Yeah. Check yourself.
Before you wreck yourself.
Before I wreck your face.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jerk.
What?
I'm going to punch you.
I'm going to go get Jen.
Hang on a second. Don't move.
Don't move. My wife's on her way.
Jen, what's your ETA?
So yeah, unfair criticism. Is there any other ways? Like what are some of the?
Well, sometimes people will. It's like we joke around a lot, but sometimes people will be cruel in their jokes, right? So like they'll say it's a joke, but it's not so much a joke. It's a cruel insult, and so like there's a difference. Like Jimmy and I say horrible things to each other, for fun, because it's fun. And
then, sometimes people are around us and they're like,
why were you so mean to each other?
I didn't know you guys were so mad.
Yeah.
When did you guys stop being friends?
So there are some contextual differences here with how people will maybe respond to this. But when somebody is being cruel towards your friend, it becomes your responsibility to defend them and their name. I do think that like unfair criticism or cruel jokes are probably the big ones that we're likely to run into before slander and gossip. But either way, a good friend has to stand up.
Yeah, otherwise, I mean, this is a 9th commandment issue, right?
Yeah.
Right? Exodus 20:16, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. Like, so by remaining silent, you are allowing this false witness and you're passively participating within it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the implied positive part of the 9th commandment is speaking the truth and defense. Now, listen, you're going to have to step into the uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like people don't want to do this because protecting your friend means stepping into an uncomfortable situation and telling somebody, no, you're not going to say that. No, knock it off. I'll kick you right in the face.
Jen's on her way.
I got some pork coming. Back up. Jimmy. Now listen, I think.
What do you think?
That when this drops, we will have already released a Banter of Truth episode talking a bit about friendship and stuff as well. So if they want to get into the all access stuff of Doctrine and Devotion, how do they do that? Where do they go?
DoctrineandDevotion.com/all access. You can also follow us online on Instagram and Twitter @DocandDevo or on Facebook /Doctrine and Devotion. You can head to the website. I forgot, dude, you threw me off. Head to the website. There you can sign up for the email blast or hit up the store at jofostore.com and grab that gear.
Good job, bud. You're doing great, man.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Awesome.
Fresh pod every Monday and Thursday. Woo. Over on the website, we got blog posts and video
content. Yeah, you're killing it, man. You're killing it.
Thanks, buddy. All access. Wait. No.
Yeah. Hashtag.
Later.
Woo!